Hey, thanks you guys for answering my questions. It makes my day. Well, thank you very much. That makes my day that you watch the show. I appreciate your opinions, and you really make compelling arguments, and sometimes even make me see a whole other side of something. Well, I'm glad you say that, Adam, because I let me go off on this as a little bit of a tangent for a second. The whole point in watching AMC Movie News or AMC Movie Talk or any type of opinion show at all is not just to watch so you can agree with what the people say. I don't want, if everybody's just agreeing with me, then I'm not doing my job. Because we are all different people with different tastes and different perspectives and different points of view. So if I'm saying something that just everybody agrees with, then clearly I'm making crap up. That's not the point. The point is to hear things that you do agree with and hear things you don't agree with, then be challenged a little bit, sharpen your own opinion, blah, blah, blah. And maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, whatever. Maybe I change your mind, or maybe I just, you think differently than I do, and hearing my opposite point of view just helps you sharpen your own point of view that's different than mine. Whatever. The point is not to agree. The point is, if you agree, great. And if not, great. That's the whole thing. So anyway, thank you for those comments, Adam. Anyway, let's get on with your question, though. And you were asking, I'd like to know how you guys got started and associated with AMC. Because you have a really great crew. Schnepp is my favorite. Well, isn't he all of our favorites? Anyway, but you guys are all equally awesome. Thanks, and I hope you guys have a great day. Well, I like taking these questions on Mailbag once in a while because it gives us a chance to do a little bit of behind-the-scenes stuff. How do we get involved with AMC? Well, there are two separate ways. One was how I got involved with AMC, and then there's how everybody else got involved on the crew. So, I've told this story before, so I'll just give you the really short condensed version. I was a long-time film blogger, was having some success with my own movie blog at the time called The Movie Blog, of all things. And I had won some awards. I'd been in some magazines, some TV shows. And anyway, long story short, AMC contacted me. And this guy named Justin with AMC called me, and he recruited me. And he asked me, would you want to be part of AMC? Do you want to come help us do this new, you want to help create an online presence? Because at the time, AMC, if I'm remembering right, AMC's website was just like a page with the logo and a listing of the theaters. That's it. I don't think you could buy showtimes or anything on that, or you could buy movie tickets or anything online with them at the time. And they said they wanted to open up a whole new thing, and they wanted to know if I would come and do that. So I said yes, and that was almost 6 years ago. And things have evolved, man. I mean, when they first brought me on, it was just to run a blog. And we still have the movie news blog on the AMC Theaters website. We still run that. Amy Rose looks after that and does a great job with it. But I always let them know that my intention was we were going to take everything into the realm of video and podcasting. That's what we were going to do. And that's what AMC Movie News was going to be. And it took about 4 years for AMC to trust me enough to because there was no editorial at first. You know, the whole idea at first was don't editorialize, just say the facts. To me, that's boring because I can just get the facts from anywhere. I like to have an editorial voice, and I like to read other sites and listen to other podcasts and watch other shows that give editorial voices. And I believe that's where the future is. So I said, okay, this is where we're going to go. And then finally, about 2 years ago, we started going the way of video. Anyway. That's how I got involved. So AMC recruited me. Now, here's how the other guys got involved. Once, we'll start with Dennis. Once, Dennis was actually a producer on a show that I did with the movie blog in the early days of when I first moved to LA. And Dennis was like a vice president at this company I was doing these shows for. And that's where he and I first met and became friends. And Dennis is a film school graduate, an incredible wealth of knowledge in Dennis Zen. Like I said, film school background, ran this great site called Think Hero and a great YouTube channel, Think Hero, and just a great post-production person. He's an editor, a shooter, he's a total package. Dennis Zen is the total package. And so once I got the okay from AMC to that we were going to start heading in the direction of podcasting video, I went to them and said, okay, well, here's the deal. You have to give me the money that I can go hire this guy. I mean, Dennis Zen is the one guy working with me at AMC that I vehemently and adamantly chased after. Like, I went after him. It's like, if we're going to do this and if we're going to succeed, we need Dennis Zen. It's cut and dry. It's as plain and simple as that. We need Dennis Zen. And so, Dennis had a lot going on. So I had to do a little convincing. I had to do maybe a little bit of groveling with Dennis. Like, Dennis, come work with me at AMC, please. And eventually he agreed. Now Dennis is basically full time with us, and he is our production manager, and couldn't do this without him. So that's how Dennis got involved. Move on to the other person is Amy Rose. Amy Rose got involved because we were coming out of our blog only phase and heading more into our video and podcasting phase. And I had a movie news manager with me, or movie news editor with me, and her name was Roth Cornett. And Roth's great, and Roth is a friend of mine, and she did a very, very good job with us. But at the time, we were still very small, and it wasn't her position was not a full-time position in the least. And she needed something bigger, and there wasn't anything more for her. So she and I kind of helped her out a little bit. We decided she needs to find a bigger position for herself somewhere. And I helped a little bit. And now she is like the entertainment editor over at IGN, and she does a great job over there. She's come back. She comes back every once in a while and is on AMC. You've seen her on AMC Movie Talk and on AMC Indie Spotlight and things like that. And you'll continue to see her there. She's great. But that left me in a position where I knew we were about to grow, and I knew we were entering this new phase. I knew eventually we were going to have more staff and all this kind of stuff. And I needed somebody on board with me that I could trust, that had their whole act together, that had a solid background, that was not only a great film mind, but a great administrative mind as well, and all that kind of stuff. And so I started looking for people, and I knew Amy Rose Eisenbach for a little while. I knew a little bit about her work, and I was a fan of her work. And I would bump into her now and again on various set visits and junkets and things like that. And we would talk whenever we do. And she had mentioned on to me early on when we met at one junket once, hey, if you ever are looking for somebody, I'd be interested in joining AMC. I think at the time she was with IGN. So when I needed to hire a new associate editor at the time, which is now the editor position, Amy Rose, she was an account executive. She worked in the studio system. She did editorial on IGN. She has an extensive background in journalism as well. And she's just somebody who runs a very, very tight ship. And so as I started interviewing a bunch of people for this really key position moving forward, it came down to Amy Rose and this one other guy who was also very, very good. But at the end of the day, we just agreed, me and that guy, Justin, who recruited me from AMC, we both agreed, this is our person. Amy Rose Eisenbach is our person. There are very few people in this city of Los Angeles that bring the pedigree that she brings to this. The extensive background, her film knowledge, her understanding of how to just run an organization as well. She is indispensable. She's fantastic. And of course, Amy Rose is now hosting one of our brand new shows, AMC Indie Spotlight, which you should check out. If you're a fan of indie film, that is a show you got to watch. It airs on our AMC Theaters YouTube channel every Wednesday. And Amy Rose and Alicia Malone helping her do a great job hosting that show. You should check that out. And so I hired Amy Rose, and she has been with us ever since, and now she's full-time with us, and that's been great. John Schnepp is a pretty cool story. It was way back when Guardians of the Galaxy was first announced, and all of us were like, Marvel is making a Guardians of the Galaxy movie? What the hell is this? So what happened was I started getting a hold of some contacts, because while I know a lot about the comics, I had to admit, I knew who the Guardians of the Galaxy were, but I knew almost nothing about them. And so I started calling some friends of mine, say, hey, who do we know that really knows Guardians of the Galaxy? And a friend of mine named Benjamin Jackendoff, he said, hey, I know this guy named John Schnepp. He's the director of that show, Metalocalypse. He knows a lot about Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm like, awesome. Give me his number. So I gave this guy, John Schnepp, a call. I said, hey, do you want to come and be a guest on AMC Movie Talk? He said, yeah, man, sure. So he came in. We talked some Guardians of the Galaxy. He and I clicked really well. So he said, hey, man, I'd like to come back. And I'm like, great. I'd love you to come back. So he came back as a guest again. Then he came back again and again. And eventually he was guesting on the show like once or twice a week. So it was great. So finally, after about a year of that, I just went to him. I said, dude, look, I really appreciate you being a guest on the show. And I know you pump and promote your work on the show and you consider that compensation and all, but I think we need to make this official. I think you actually need to come on staff. and join us. And so he did. And now Schnepp's been with us for, wow, a while now. Schnepp's been with us for a while. A couple of the other key people, like Alicia Malone. At some point, we hit this point where we were expanding how many shows we were doing. We needed more editorial voices on the crew. And so I put out word. This is only about 6 months ago, maybe 5 months ago. I put out word in our industry that I was looking for a couple new people to join AMC Movie News. And I got to tell you, I was floored by the quality of people that applied. I had people applying that I had been a serious fan of for years. Like, my mind was just blown. So Christian Harloff, who you'll know from Schmoes Know, and we had him on the show as a guest before and whatever, his was he actually emailed Amy Rose and said, hey, I heard you guys are looking for a new staff person. I want to join the staff of AMC. And Amy Rose came to me with that, and I'm like, what? But he's got Schmoes Know. He's got his own thing going on the side. Why? What's this about? Why do you want to do this? So I gave Christian a call, or I had Amy Rose call him and said, yeah, set up a meeting, set up an interview. So Christian Harloff came in, and I'm like, and I was skeptical. I was like, dude, why do you want to come work with me? I mean, you've got Schmoes Know, and it's going pretty well for you guys over there. I would think, as somebody who ran my own site for a very long time with the movie blog, I would think you'd want to pour your heart and soul and all of your attention into that. And, Christian just kind of for me. He looked at me and said, he goes, I know, you trust me, I'm totally dedicated to what I'm doing at Schmoes and all that kind of stuff, but I want to work with you. And I love what you're doing here. I want to be a part of this. I think I've got a whole ton of stuff I can learn. And I think we have good chemistry together when we're on camera. And I agreed. I think me and Christian do have really good chemistry together when we're on camera. And I said yes. So we brought on Christian Harloff. And it was in that same casting process that we ended up finding Alicia Malone, who's one of the most respected people in our business, works for like 7 or 8 different international outlets at the same time. Her movie knowledge is second to none. And of course, Miri Jetikin, who I'd known from her days as an on-camera voice and as a producer over at Electric Playground. So we had those guys, and then our hosts, we usually just put out casting calls for hosts, bring them in audition, we pick the best one. But anyway, that's kind of the long and the short about how I got involved in AMC, and then how everybody else got involved, and how I found all of them, and then how I brought all of them on. And I got to tell you, I'm very proud of a number of things we've done at AMC Movie News, but I think the thing I am proudest of with AMC Movie News is the quality of team we have together. And look, there's only a handful of us that are actually like full time, because a lot of the people I mentioned, they only work like 2 hours a week with us. They're on like 2 shows or 3 shows. There's like a 1 hour commitment. So I mean, they don't make full-time salaries with us or anything like that. So I mean, our team will change and evolve. Other people have other opportunities. We may need to fit new pieces into certain things now and again. But I got to tell you, I'm really thrilled with the team we have and the personalities we have. So anyway, thanks a lot for the question. I always like questions that let me get a little bit into behind the scenes stuff. So I hope you found that informative and hopefully not too boring.